Touch Delek. Welcome to Tibet this week. We bring you news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and Central Tibetan Administration. Let's look at the headlines first. His Holiness the Dalai Lama sends message of hope to Tibetans in Tibet. His Holiness the Dalai Lama congratulates recipients of Nobel Prize in Physics. 2 Tibetans die from Chinese police torture, others 4 remain under detention. Central Tibetan Administration pays tribute to Mahatma Gandhi on his 153rd birth anniversary. Central Tibetan Administration lauds Delek Hospital's 50 years of public health service. Kalon Norzin and Special Coordinator take part in event Sidelining 51st UN Human Rights Council session. Representative Dr. Arya attends a press conference at Foreign Correspondents Club. Office of Tibet, Washington, D.C. hosts former Ambassador Nirupama Rao. Office of Tibet, London hosts Tibet event at 2022 Conservative Party Conference. Office of Tibet, Taiwan's Secretary attends commemoration of German Unity Day. His Holiness the Dalai Lama sent condolence message to the Tibetans inside Tibet facing severe restrictions as a result of the COVID regulations by China.
가서다 쟁해진데 샤유지 참말로 섬모슈부체 애는 알아서 표 관심 하고 전에 세계도 뉘시사대 요리 애니 세세 조리 애니 다가는 신기이니 루그슈리 된저기 조사 넘숨을 야 참말로 애니 mel로 야고죠 애니 나데 사케 장 대요리 이내 레던 저 투무 모임 버시고 인도산에 아니 여러분이 달라마야 참바체 아니 가다 조디 가나서 템베타 세그리 사바시기 아니 소소프게 롯데우천데 대쇼아 대가 자샤네 어다 아달로 다 제주 자자실레디 요리 제주협동이나 실레디 요리 아다 소고 대사시 음주스 딱제시도잖아 나안달로 정원이 수 대그리스네 음지들 시기도 그봐 저들이 이제 자신 메모도 롯데호 전쇼아
His Holiness gave a 3-day teaching on Dharmakirti's commentary on valid cognition at the request of Taiwanese Buddhists at the main Tibetan temple on Monday this week. Following the announcement of the winners of this year's Nobel Prize in Physics to 3 scientists, Alan Aspect, John Clauser, and His Holiness's friend Anton Zeilinger for their work in developing experimental tools that have laid the foundation for a new era of quantum technology, His Holiness the Dalai Lama has congratulated the winners on Wednesday this week. While expressing joy over hearing the news, His Holiness recalled having several fruitful conversations with Professor Zeilinger in relation to quantum physics over the last 4 decades. His Holiness expressed confidence in the potential of Anton Zeilinger and his colleagues' work in bringing benefit to the whole of humanity. 2 Tibetans named Ngudup Tsiring and Chukdar from Karzi Tibet Autonomous Prefecture has died in the Chinese police custody on 28 September and 26 August this year respectively. According to Tibet Times, Ngudup Tsiring was arrested by the Chinese police officials for allegedly delivering food and eatables to an old-age home in Tazedo County in Khamkarzi on 27 September, due to which he was interrogated and beaten to death in the local police station. Ngutup's visit to the old age home and his provision of food and supplies to the elders have been seen by the police as a criticism to the government officials responsible for taking care of the old age home. Ngutup Sring drove a taxi to support his family, including his wife, a 78-year-old mother, and 2 children. 52-year-old Chukdar has also reportedly died in the Chinese police custody as a result of torture inflicted upon him for performing religious rituals in Septar County on 26 August 2022. The report said Chukdar's family was told by the authorities that they would return his body only if they signed an official letter confirming his death was not caused by police abuse. Chukdar was the sole breadwinner of his parents, wife, and children. According to the news agency, 4 other Tibetans named Gelo, Tseto, Bamo, and Kori were also arrested on 24 August, along with Chukdar for leading the religious ceremony, and they are currently being held in Karzi County Prison. The Central Tibetan administration, led by Sikyong Pemba Tsring, paid a floral tribute to the portrait of Mahatma Gandhi on his 153rd birth anniversary on Sunday last week. In his interaction with media, Sikyong remembered Gandhi as the first influential and inspiring leader who set the benchmark of the practice of non-violence and said that the Tibetan movement under the guidance of His Holiness the Dalai Lama was unabatedly based on the same model. Delek Hospital celebrated its Golden Jubilee celebration on Tuesday this week. The hospital also honored the personal physician of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Chief Medical Officer Dr. Tsetin Satuzang for completing 40 years of service at the hospital. In his address, Sikyong credited the combined effort of each and every staff of Delek Hospital for the success of the hospital and applauded the determination of Dr. Tsetin for serving the community for 40 years. Sikyong called the medical profession the most important as it provides relief from sickness and suffering, one of the harder parts of living. Speaker Khimpo Sonam Tembe lauded the progress that the hospital had made in the 50 years through the blessings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and emphasized the importance of compassion in patient care as hospitals nowadays have become more of a business-making enterprise. Other dignitaries, including the Acting Chief Justice Commissioner Kama Damdu, the Deputy Speaker Dorma Sring Tekang, Justice Commissioner Tenzin Lungdu, Security Kalon Dorma Gyari were also present at this ceremony. This week, Sikyong Pemba Tsring interacted with 2 different groups of students, fellows of Tishum Foundation and students from Namgyal High School. During the meeting, Sikyong enlightened the group on the historical teacher-student relationship between Tibet and India. The historical facts of Tibet were explored and discussed at length. This week, Kalon Norzin Dolma of the Department of Information and International Relations, Central Tibetan Administration, spoke about CTA's general position on the reincarnation matters, including the reincarnation of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama at the event Sidelining 51st UN Human Rights Council session. Kalon thanked the U.S. Special Coordinator on Tibetan Issues, Under-Secretary Azra Zia, for her strong support to the religious freedom of Tibetans. Kalon Norzin Dolma also interacted with Students' Initiative on Asia at the Graduate Institute, Geneva, on the topic Navigating the Diplomatic Landscape, the Case of Tibet, and met with Tibet supporters and friends of Tibet. In Italy earlier this week, Kalon Norzin Dolma met the President of South Tyrol, Mr. Arno Compasser. The two exchanged a wide range of issues, in particular the situation in Tibet under China's control. Kalon Norzin Dolma also met former Senator Roberto Rambi, newly elected Member of Parliament Augusta Montaroli, former members of Italy Parliamentary Group for Tibet and President of Union Buddhist Association, Italy. In Perugia, Kalon Nirupama inaugurated a 3-week photo exhibition titled Tibet, Heart of Asia, along with Honorable Leonardo Varaseno, Minister for Culture. Kalon Nirupama presided over the inauguration of the 3rd General Meeting of Europe-Tibetan Associations held in Milan, Italy, where she emphasized the importance of preservation of Tibetan culture and language. Over 27 representatives from 9 Tibetan associations and communities based in Austria, Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Spain, Switzerland and Liechtenstein and United Kingdom took part in the meeting. Representative Dr. Arya, liaison office of His Holiness the Dalai Lama for Japan and East Asia, attended a press conference protesting against China's human rights oppression at the Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan organized by Japan Uyghur Congress on Saturday last week. Representative Arya in his address clarified that issue of Tibet, East Turkestan and South Mongolia was not just the issue of human rights and religious persecutions, but the brutal invasion of independent nations by a neighboring bully, and urged the world leaders to consider the issue of these 3 nations as the unresolved international issues. The press conference was attended by representatives of Uyghur, Tibet and Southern Mongolia. Tibet House Japan started its 2-month Tibetan language class on Saturday last week. Representative Arya welcomed the students attending the class in person at the office and online. Those attending the class in person are mostly from Tokyo City and online participants are from different parts of Japan. The classes will be held regularly every Saturday for 2 months. The Office of Tibet, Washington, D.C. and International Campaign for Tibet hosted a luncheon for India's former Foreign Secretary and Ambassador Nirupama Rao on Tuesday this week at the Office of Tibet. Representative Namgyal Chitup spoke about the current situation inside Tibet and the middle way approach as the only way of finding a mutually beneficial and long-lasting solution to the Tibet-China conflict. Ambassador Rao thanked the Office of Tibet and ICT and recalled her memories of meeting His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Lucknow at the train station in 1960. The Office of Tibet London, in collaboration with Tibet House Trust and the 2 sister partner organizations, organized a talk titled Why Tibet Matters at the 2022 Conservative Party conference venue in Birmingham on Monday this week. While laying the current repressive situation inside Tibet, Representative Sonam Tsering Frasi explained the middle way approach of the Tibetans as a beacon of peaceful conflict resolution. Members of Parliament Norman Baker, a long-time staunch supporter of Tibet and a former president of Tibet Society, pointed out the UK government's relation and bilateral treaties with Tibet in the early 20th century without China anywhere in sight. The delegation had taken the opportunity to lobby for Tibet by distributing leaflets, visiting information stalls and attending other events at the conference venues. Secretary Mingyur Yuten of the Office of Tibet, Taiwan attended the German Unity Day celebration organized by German Embassy in Taiwan at the Hotel Howard Plaza based in Taipei on Monday this week. Secretary Mingyur Yuten extended her appreciation for Germany's continuous support towards Tibet cause at the gathering on the behalf of the Central Tibetan Administration and the Tibetan people. That is all for this week. See you in the next episode of Tibet This Week. Have a great weekend.